Wow, this is incredible. My name's Rebecca Henley, and I've been with Amazon for the last 8.5 years. I am really lucky to lead both the consumables, the Amazon fashion, and our brand owner business. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an incredible turnout. I've been so delighted to speak to some of you today who I've known since literally day one. Val from Boutique Retailer, good to see you. And many other of the businesses that we're so excited to be launching and working with today. Now, I have the privilege of speaking to some of my favorite brands, as you might notice by my shoes, my jewelry, and this handy pack of wipes I just happen to have in my pocket. So without further ado, let me introduce our brands today. So we have Emma Knox from Swarovski, Daniel Loke from Water Wipes, and last but not least, Tim Leroy from New Balance. Thank you. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. I know everybody is really excited to hear from you all. So over to you. Emma, tell us about Swarovski and how long you've been selling on Amazon.
Thanks, Rebecca. So my name's Emma Knox. I'm the e-commerce manager for Swarovski Australia, New Zealand. For any of you that don't know who we are, we're a global luxury jewelry and accessories brand. We were founded almost 130 years ago in 1895 in Innsbruck in Austria. Our founder was a gentleman by the name of Daniel Swarovski, and he had this enduring passion for design and innovation, and that's really formed the foundation of the world-class expertise that we have today in crystal craftsmanship. As far as our journey on Amazon, so in a number of other markets around the world, Swarovski has been on the Amazon store for a number of years, but Swarovski Australia launched on Amazon Australia in July 2023, so just over 12 months ago now.
It's been an amazing year. Thanks, Emma. Dan, on to you. Will you tell us a little bit about Water Wipes' history with Amazon and how long you've been selling for?
Yeah, for sure. So hi, everyone. My name is Dan. I'm the National Business Manager for Water Wipes, and I lead the team here in Australia and New Zealand. Water Wipes started with, it's an Irish-based company, and it started when the founder, Edward McCloskey, was using baby wipes with his newborn daughter and realized that a lot of the wipes that he was using from the supermarket and from the drugstore was causing his daughter to break out and have rashes and get eczema and things like that. And he realized there was a lot of ingredients, hidden ingredients found in these baby wipes. So he went out to develop what we now have as Water Wipes, which is 99.9% water and just a drop of fruit extract. And we're proud to say we're the world's purest baby wipes. And we entered Australia maybe six years ago, and it was through a third-party distributor at the time. But in 2022, the business decided to set up an Australian office, and there's myself and a team of 4 based in Melbourne, and we head up Australia and New Zealand. And in 2022, when we entered the direct model, we started working with Amazon Australia and started selling on the Amazon store.
Thanks so much, Dan. And last but not least, Tim, would you like to tell us a little bit about New Balance, your role, and when you started selling on Amazon?
Yeah, easy, and thanks so much for having me. Hopefully everyone in the room knows New Balance, and I'm looking at everyone's shoes today as well. Can see you back.
I'm doing all right, I reckon.
But yeah, a little bit about my role. So I am the Strategic Partnership Manager for Australia and New Zealand. That is a little bit about on Marketplace and also affiliate. And then New Balance. So we are a independent brand established in 1906 and still independent to this day. And we are committed to community, performance, innovation, and quality. So those are some of the things that hopefully you've seen recently and in the Olympics as well. And we started with Amazon 2 years ago, so August 2022. It's a big number.
Yeah.
And I've been at New Balance for 1 year.
Amazing. Thanks, Tim. I loved hearing that New Balance was still a family-owned brand. I didn't realize that until a little while ago, so thank you for that. We've heard a lot today about FBA, otherwise known as Fulfillment by Amazon. Each of your brands leverage this service. Emma, could you tell us a little bit more about how you leverage for Swarovski?
Yeah, so I guess what motivated us to use FBA was the fact that it was going to allow us to decrease our order lead time compared to what we can offer customers on our own website. We also understand the expertise and the efficiency that Amazon has in their fulfillment and their logistics and the technology that they've got there. We also felt that it was quite a cost-effective solution for us. And we felt that it was important to be able to be involved in events such as Prime Day.
Absolutely. Rishi spoke earlier about events, and we'll definitely touch on it later. Thanks, Emma. Tim, over to you. You sell both on FBA and also some products merchant fulfilled, so fulfilling them yourselves. What motivated you to, or how do you choose to use FBA?
Yeah, so for us, it's a few different things, right? It's definitely a new customer acquisition piece. So not only does it allow us to fulfill, our existing customers who know us and who trust us, but also gain a new customer into Amazon, and that could be a different gender or a specific age group or targeting. So that's the first piece. And then, of course, the customer satisfaction, the ease of delivery, how quick it is, seamless returns, and also returns on the brand side as well. That is also quite, I guess, a seamless function as well. So definitely a few things. And happy and proud to say that we, in the past year, have seen a 200% uplift in our FBA sales.
Wow.
And then also a 44% uplift in our FBA order value. So that's just a little bit of new product as well as, new strategy as well.
Thanks, Tim. It's been amazing to see the strategies pay off, especially in your order product value increase for that 44% that you mentioned. So thank you for sharing that. Lastly, Dan, could you share a little bit about why you decided to jump on FBA?
Yeah, so we were looking at how do we service the consumer the best way in Australia, and we wanted to tackle that direct-to-consumer model, but also knowing that we were quite limited by having a team of 4 of us. So this is where partnering with Amazon FBA is the perfect combination of that. We're able to interact with new customers directly, but also relying on Amazon's great fulfillment network to service that customer demand.
Amazing. Could you elaborate a little bit more about how FBA has supported potentially with the Prime Badge eligibility?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's all well and good to have a great product and a great brand, but really it's that last mile fulfillment that is quite difficult, and this is where being part of the program has been a big plus. So that Amazon being able to manage the shipping, the returns, the customer reviews, all those kind of things when the consumer clicks the buy now button is a game changer when it comes to our relatively small team. So that was one bit. And then the second bit is just working strategically with the Amazon team, with our agency partner. It's been a big shift in how we've been able to dramatically grow our sales and tackle some of the media and marketing opportunities that Amazon presents.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Dan. Emma, how have you found FBA to be more of a benefit?
Yeah, it's definitely a great benefit to us. So Swarovski doesn't actually have a full online order fulfillment strategy based locally in Australia. So it's fantastic for us as a business to have all of our customer orders and our returns managed by fulfillment by Amazon. As you touched on already, having that Prime Badge eligibility is fantastic for us. It means that we build that trust and the reassurance for our customer, and it really helps to differentiate us from any other people that might be selling Swarovski on the Amazon store. And of course, it's that piece around the free shipping and the fast shipping, and that competitive lead time is better than ever now that we've got same-day delivery as of last week in Sydney. So it's a fantastic thing that we're able to offer and a great way to improve the customer experience.
Thanks, Emma. I think you all must have heard now about our free same-day delivery in Sydney for Prime members. We are very excited about that. Knowing how much to send to FBA can be daunting for new sellers, we find. Min talked about it in the FBA presentation earlier. How have each of you handled this, or how do you approach inventory planning? And Dan, your product is a consumables product, so customer repetition is key. Could you elaborate on how you think about your inventory planning?
Yeah, for sure. So I think there are two key bits around inventory planning for us. It's one is what is our baseline sales? And then the second is how do we prepare for key promotional events? So on the baseline sales, we generally look at past data to understand, okay, what is the consumer trends and the ongoing demand from a business as usual point of view? And once that's established, that's sort of your baseline. And then we spend a lot of our time and effort thinking, how do we best optimize our inventory planning for key promotional events? So that being Prime Day, your Black Fridays, your baby events, those kind of things. And that's where we spend quite a lot of time thinking, what is the potential consumer demand that we can have, and how do we make sure that we have the inventory to meet that? So the way we've approached it is that as we lead up to those key consumption events, we actually plan to bring in quite a lot of inventory to the Amazon fulfillment centers. And yes, there might be additional stock holding, additional storage fees, and things like that. But for us, that is much outweighed by what we want to avoid is the lost sales as a result of out of stocks during these key events, which was a big learning we had in 2023.
We did. I love that you've mentioned two things there. The first is Baby Week. For all the parents in the room, it's live right now and ends tomorrow.
You should buy water wipes while you're there.
The second thing that you mentioned is out of stock. Now, for Amazon, when we think about those customer moments that we have and that convenience, out of stock is critical. It's also important that we have good control on that, or our sellers manage that well for customer programs that we have.
Yeah, no, and one of the programs that we've just entered with Amazon is the Subscribe and Save
FBA
program.
Subscribe and Save.
Yeah, which is very exciting. So as you can imagine with a product like water wipes, if you do use a lot of baby wipes, especially when you're a new parent and you have a new baby.
Or a new dog owner.
Or a new dog owner. I found out Tim has a new puppy and he's been using wipes with that. So it's another great use case for water wipes. And because of the consumable nature of it, and then since our target demographic is that new parent who are quite time poor, they're not quite, they're thinking about other things rather than replenishing their nappies, their wipes, and things like that. So being able to partner with Amazon on the Subscribe and Save, that I think is going to be a game changer, because one, it offers our consumers a really great way to get water wipes in a convenient fashion, so that you don't need to think about restocking. Nothing worse than running out of wipes when you're in the middle of a nappy change. And so that is a big plus. And then the second one is the value that we can offer consumers. So for us, we're offering the 10% if someone is tying up to our Subscribe and Save function. And that's why I think it's going to be a game changer for us to offer that convenient option for consumers, but also the best value as well.
And Dan, I must take this moment to congratulate you. You're very familiar with this time in your life, having a 5-week-old.
Yeah, so
big congratulations.
Thank you. My wife and I just had our first baby, so I'm very much in the thick of understanding how time poor new parents are, and that's why things like this are going to be a big change. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. And you heard it here first. FBA Subscribe and Save is coming. We're launching really soon. And I'm incredibly excited about what that program can offer our sellers here. So keep your eye out. Emma, how do you consider inventory planning for Swarovski?
Yeah, so our inventory planning is managed by myself, our local planning and merchandising team, and also with the support of our agency Totality. So we use a mix of data from our own channels, but also from Seller Central, so that we can really understand what we need to bring into the FC, when, and in what quantities. And we take into account sales history, but also sales potential. So considering the potential of any new products that we have that we're launching on the platform. But we also consider deals, upcoming promotions or KCPs and Prime Day, for example, to make sure that we've got enough stock for those offers. Like the guys said, it's super important to understand the importance of staying in stock. So that's really a priority for us, making sure that we are inbounding enough stock in advance so that we are in stock for those key periods and not going out of stock at any time. But also inversely understanding the importance of kind of just having that balance and not being overstocked either.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much. And Totality are on our panel next, so looking forward to hearing from them. Thank you for referencing. Tim, finally, with New Balance, seasonal products, how do you consider inventory planning?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think definitely a combination of what Dan and Emma have said, just looking at some baseline sales and history. But I think for more of a seasonal product, it's important to consider you have your core product, but then you also have your seasonal product. And season on season, no two colors are ever the same. But if you can get as close to a color, say in August 2022, and you have something similar in 23 and 24, that's how you kind of build momentum and forecast that sales plan. So definitely it's a combination of our planning team as well as myself, just to make sure that we don't ever run out of stock. But of course, keeping half an eye open just with the deal events that was previously seen on there, just so you can know when exactly everything is happening.
Absolutely. And utilizing the Seller Central tools. So we have some amazing features in there. Having been with Amazon for a little while now, seeing that come on and what we actually offer you to be able to manage your business is
definitely, I think as well, like the opportunities tab in Seller
FBA
Central.
opportunities,
Yeah, that has definitely been a game changer. Just to look at weeks cover, like, how long things will be, in stock before things start to run out. So definitely a great tool.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. So we've covered why FBA, we've covered some of the benefits, and let's move on to the how. So how do you manage labeling and packing, Emma? Where do you inbound your stock from?
Yeah, so Swarovski's Asia Pacific warehouse is actually located in Singapore. So that warehouse services all of our channels online and offline for all of Asia Pacific. So on Amazon, we do use manufacturer barcodes. So our stock is packed in our Singapore warehouse, and then we bring it through a local warehouse here in Sydney where we place the Amazon shipping labels on the outside of the cartons, and then we use our chosen carrier to bring it into the FC.
Awesome. And Dan?
Yeah, for us, Water Wipes is still made in Drogheda in Ireland. So you can imagine to get stock from Ireland to Australia is a long time. So we have a 3+ month lead time. So we bring the stock in, it comes to Sydney in our 3PL. And then from there, we get our stock sent to the Amazon Fulfillment Center. And as part of the FBA program, they handle all the things after that, which is great.
Awesome, including labeling and everything.
Yeah, exactly right.
Fab. And Tim, how's it handled at New Balance?
Yeah, so similar story. I think for us, thankfully we don't have as long of a lead time. But for us, we use our Melbourne warehouse. We pack everything there. We upload our order into Seller Central. And then from there, we just try to make sure that everything is packed by style and by size, just to make it as efficient as possible when the Amazon team unpack. And everything is also done with a manufacturer barcode as well. Mm-hmm. So it just makes everything quite simple. And then Amazon look after the rest.
Perfect, thank you. So we've got the product in the fulfillment center. Now, how do we get it to sell? So what marketing approaches or what approaches in general have you found helpful to ensure your products stand out in the Amazon store? Emma, I'll start with you.
Cool. So I would say, firstly, as a global luxury brand, branding is really imperative for us. So ensuring that our listings, our product information, brand store, A+ content, advertising assets, and everything are aligned with our brand guidelines, and really have that Swarovski look and feel and tone of voice helps us to be elevated and stand out to our customers. And it's also really important to us to have everything aligned with our brand guidelines so that we have a consistent approach across all of our channels, so that what customers would see on Swarovski.com, they would be getting that same brand experience on the Amazon store. As far as other marketing, strategies for us, we do utilize all of the different advertising approaches that are available to us. So again, this is where Totality do support us in having an advertising strategy that's focused around building brand awareness and consideration, but also driving conversion. And we utilize sponsored brand, sponsored product, and sponsored display to help drive our sales and drive our growth. And we leverage these with additional investments during those key periods like Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And we've also just stepped into the world of DSP, so demand side platform, which I believe we've heard a little bit about today as well. And that's been really successful for us. So just having that real holistic approach around advertising has been very important for our growth.
Awesome. So advertising and taking advantage of those events. I think you saw some phenomenal results last Prime Day, and we've got Prime Big Deal Days coming up in October. Date TBC, but very excited for that one too. Dan, moving on to yourself on how Water Wipes are thinking about making their product stand out in the store.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think it's really important to have your marketing and your media plan in place when you're on the Amazon store. And for us, we've engaged with doing a lot of sponsored products and sponsored brand placements. And that has driven a lot of sales and conversion when people are searching key search terms like baby wipes or wipes in general. That is a big key driver of sales for us. The second thing that we've done in the last few months is working with our agency on activating DSP. And DSP is a great tool to get consumers off the site, back onto the Amazon platform, straight to our product display pages. And it's targeting the right consumers that we want to be having that direct communication with and driving them to our Amazon store. And that has resulted in really, really strong results these past few months. I think our media sales have grown by 202% in the last this year versus last year. So that is a phenomenal job in that regard. But the foundation for us is around our A+ content. So it's all well and good to have the media and the marketing in place, but really that A+ content for Water Wipes is the foundational, I think, reason for our success on the Amazon store. So whether that's your product images, really good branded videos, your ratings and reviews, that's kind of your basics, but you need to have them in place to then be able to utilize the media and the marketing, and it all works out really, really well.
Absolutely. We like to say it as if the customer could be holding the product in their hand with the gorgeous images, and I think it's something your brands do super well. So, and finally, Tim, what are New Balance thinking about in this space?
Yeah, it's definitely a healthy cocktail of everything that you guys have put forward. We're definitely utilizing the same things. So sponsored brand and product is pivotal to us, and those focus campaigns. Specifically as well, just leveraging Amazon's targeting and dynamic bidding. So just making sure that we're competitive in that space, and looking at keywords such as like footwear or shoes is ever so important to a brand like ours. Another thing that's also probably worked in the past couple of months, because it's still fairly new, is sponsored display. So that's something that we've seen some wins on, especially during peak periods. It just helps drive people to the store. And then, lastly, just similar to Emma, we are a global brand as well, so just making sure that A+ content is on point, and the brand guidelines and everything that has to do with New Balance is represented as if it's on Amazon, but then also off-site and anywhere you see in market.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Tim. So as experienced Amazon brands, I would love to get your advice for the new brands in the room or the new sellers in the room on what you would advise them on when starting out. What are the critical pieces of information that you would give? Dan, I'll start with you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the first one is around mindset. It's that having a bit of patience and having that learning mindset when you start to engage on the Amazon store, because there's a lot to get your head around, but the key thing is just starting and having that continual improvement process and understanding how everything works. So it takes a bit of time, but it's definitely well worth it. The second one for us is understanding why are our consumers shopping on Amazon. So for us, our core demographic is those new parents, and they very much value convenience and that direct-to-consumer model. So for us, since we know that's our core demographic, we try and find ways, and Subscribe and Save is a perfect way to service that consumer, because they're very much on Amazon for that convenience option, and that's what we're hoping to do with Water Wipes. And then the third one, I would say, is just have that kind of test and learn, sort of trial new things. So for us at Water Wipes, we're really happy to share that we're going to be bringing in some innovation that's not available in Australia, and we're going to be selling it on Amazon to start with. And it's just to see what the customer demand is, and it's a great store to just understand what are our customers, is there a demand for this product, what are our customers saying about some new innovation that we're bringing in, and before we then decide, okay, this is something that we're going to make more of a national launch. So it's a great way to try new things, whether that's different promotional mechanics, different marketing channels, or different products.
Thanks so much, Dan. Absolutely, patience and learning is critical. There's a lot out there, so thank you. Tim, over to you. What would be your best practice for new brands or sellers looking to come on board?
There's definitely a few things, and preaching patience. Patience is definitely a thing. It definitely takes time for a product to incubate, especially when you have that Prime badge. You move from fulfilled by merchant when you're at the back of the catalog to FBA, where it would just take some time. So patience is definitely one. Another thing is also testing and learning, as basic as that is. So whenever there is a new tool available, whenever there is a recommendation, whenever, like our partner Rhythm, who works day in and day out on Amazon as well, suggest something, definitely try, just because you never know what nugget you might find and uncover. So test and learn. And I think probably the last thing is FBA, that scalability. So once you get some momentum, and momentum is a big thing on Amazon, you'd be able to go quite quick. But just patience to start with for sure.
Awesome, thank you. And then finally, Emma, would love to get your advice for new businesses.
Yeah, so I probably have a few things. I would say firstly, optimize your listings. So make sure that they are a good reflection of your products with the right information, the right descriptions, but also that they're a good reflection of your brand and that they're optimized to get the best visibility that they possibly can. I would encourage you to understand featured offer, what this is and how to be successful with it. Definitely leverage those deal periods and promotion periods like Prime Day. We had some fantastic results, as you touched on, Rebecca. During Prime Day, we saw a 360% growth on our average weekly sales just during Prime Day alone. So that was a great win for us. It's definitely an important thing to be involved in on Amazon. As Tim and Dan have said, do understand the way that things kind of build momentum and bestseller ranking, and understand the importance of not going out of stock to sort of damage that bestseller ranking, I suppose. And also do sort of explore your options with agencies and partners that are available. There are a lot of guys out in the hallway here that you can chat to. I think this can be really beneficial, especially for someone just starting out on Amazon. Amazon can be really unique. It can be quite complex. So being able to lean on someone who has that expertise and that knowledge to support you can be a really good place to start.
Thanks, Emma. I mean, you lead us perfectly on to our next panel with some of our partners led by our partnerships manager, Nick, which is up next. So thank you so much, all of you, for your key words of wisdom and advice and participation today. It's wonderful working with you day in, day out, and I'm really excited for the success of your brands to continue. I think we have a few takeaways from these awesome sellers. So the first is fulfillment by Amazon. If you haven't heard it already today, it's critical to grow and have that success and give that customer the most amazing experience. I really like the comments, Tim and Dan, on having patience and learning. There's a lot of tools available in Seller Central now and really utilizing them. And then finally, the impact of our deal events. So as we approach Q4, this is going to be a really exciting time, as Rishi mentioned earlier. We've got Prime Day, we've got Black Friday, and making sure that you're a part of them. Thank you so much. That wraps up our seller panel, and we'll pass over to Nick.
Thank you.